She walked onto that court against one of the most dominant players in the world, and she didn't just win. She controlled, she dictated, she suffocated Coco Gauff from the very first point. But here's what nobody is talking about. Alex Eala didn't just outplay Gauff today, she outthought her. And in this press conference, she accidentally reveals exactly how she did it. And what she said will completely change the way you understand elite tennis strategy. Stay with me, because the most important thing she said wasn't about tennis at all.
Alex, obviously not the way you want to finish the match here, but just talk us through, I guess, how you thought you were playing and the chat you had with Coco at the net afterwards as well.
Yeah, it's always very difficult it's a difficult decision to retire from a match. I know no one likes winning like that and no one likes losing like that. So nevertheless, I'm really happy with how I played. I'm really happy with my performance, and I hope I can make the best out of the momentum.
Okay, is that the first question, please?
Alex, you posted about International Women's Day this morning. I just wondered what for you, like how close to equality you think we are in tennis, and what things you'd most like to see to kind of fully achieve that equality.
I'm not really sure how far the gap is between the WTA and ATP, just because I'm not in the ATP circuit. I think the WTA is a great platform for us professional women tennis players, though I think it gives us a lot of opportunity. I'm very grateful for everything they have built for us, given us a chance to become these stars and do what we love in such grand stages. So that's all I'm going to say about that. Yeah.
Happy Women International Day today, and congratulations on your victory.
Thank you.
Among all mental techniques, what are yours that you use when you play a high-pressure match to stay focused?
There's no technique that I use specifically. I think I've gained certain experience over the years of how to handle these high-pressure situations. Of course, it's taken up a notch when you're playing big players and when you're playing in big courts. So it's a learning experience for me. What I try to do is just focus on the next thing that I have to do. I try not to think of the bigger picture, and I focus on what I can control. Yeah.
Alex, it was such a big difference from your last match with Coco, the tempo from the beginning. What kind of a strategy did you implement to turn the game around and to stay on top of her? And what did you think you did super well today?
I think my focus was really was a big point of my match today, and my strategy, as well as the intensity in my legs and the intensity I was able to produce to be aggressive. Yeah, I took those learnings from the last match. I tried to do things differently, better on certain things I can control. I know that Coco is a great player, and she's really going to give you a hard time. So there's nothing much you can do about the other person playing well. So I tried to focus on what I could control. Yeah.
Hi, Alex. You have introduced a lot of people to the sport of tennis and coming to tournaments. What do you think tournaments can do to help sort of encourage new fans who are coming into a sport that they might not know about but are sort of interested in a specific player and want to sort of...
Did you catch that? When they asked Alex about her mental technique under pressure, she said something that most players would never admit out loud. She said, "There's no technique I specifically use." That's not humility. That's actually a higher level of mastery. The best athletes in the world don't perform techniques. They've internalized them so deeply that it becomes instinct. Alex Eala isn't using a mental checklist on court. She's operating from a different system entirely. And that system, it's what allowed her to flip the entire tempo against Coco Gauff, a player who had already beaten her before. But how exactly did she break Coco's rhythm from the very first ball? And what did she mean when she said she focused on her legs specifically?
Might not know about, but are sort of interested in a specific player and want to sort of learn more about the sport.
Well, I love that it's not just myself that have been bringing in different and new demographics into the audience, into the sport. Personally, I think one of the ways, I'm not saying that I know everything, but I think one of the ways is for the tennis community in general to develop in certain countries where tennis is not as big as other sports, I would say. So speaking from my experience, tennis has grown so much in my country, right? And I think that really adds to the fact that that they come and they support me because tennis is so popular now, and so people are developing genuine interest in the sport. Another example of what I'm saying is in Australian Open, there were 4 women from Southeast Asia in the main draw, so that attracted, so it was Lanana, Mai, Janice, and myself, so that attracted another demographic that maybe was not so present in other years. Or another example is my friend Zeynep. She's from Turkey. She's been pulling in a lot of Turkish people and from the Middle East. So I think if tennis is able to develop in those countries, as it will naturally grow the sport and naturally produce high level competitors. That's my opinion. Yeah.
What Alex just described is something that almost no player in the world is positioned to do, and she doesn't even fully realize it yet. She's not just a tennis player, she is a demographic trigger. When 4 Southeast Asian women appeared in the Australian Open main draw at the same time, Lana, Mayar, Janice, and Alex, that wasn't a coincidence. That was a shift, a tectonic shift in who this sport belongs to. And Zeynep Arslan doing the same thing for Turkey and the Middle East? Alex mentioned it casually, but what she's describing is the complete globalization of a sport that was historically gatekept by wealth and geography. She's not just winning matches, she's cracking open a door that's been shut for over 100 years of tennis history. Now, here's where it gets even more fascinating, because the moment that actually set all of this in motion, it happened not in Indian Wells, but in Miami 1 year ago. And what Alex said about that week will give you chills.
Yeah, I think that Miami run was really big. It was my biggest result. And I think that was kind of the spark that lit the fire. I learned so much from that week, and I'll always remember it as that. But there's so many things that have happened in between then and now that have added to how I've grown as a player and as a person. And I think one of the biggest things is maturity, experience, being able to surround myself consistently with this high of a level of tennis players, and this high of a level of competition pushes me to be better. So I'm trying to find my limits and go past that, yeah.
Okay, any more English? Okay, one more. Yep. You got your hand raised? Yep.
I'm not sure if you saw the draw, but your next match is Noskova. What are your thoughts about that?
I have not thought about it yet. If I'm being completely transparent, I just got off the court. But Linda is an amazing player, very powerful, and even at such a young age, very experienced. So I'm excited. It's my first 4th round in Indian Wells, so I'm gonna go in with a good preparation and a lot of motivation. Yeah.
Okay, we'll do some native language now.
One in Filipino.
Yes.
Yeah. Alex, sobrang saya ng buong Pilipinas ngayon kung pansin mo yung social media. So, pwede mo bang i-address ang mga Pinoy ngayon na talagang sobrang happy sa pagkapanalo mo Monday, Lunes ng umaga, noon time sa Pilipinas, Alex?
Maraming salamat mga kababayan sa lahat na nanonood sa Pilipinas at sa lahat na nagsusuporta sa akin. Marami pong salamat. Happy International Women's Day sa lahat ng mga babae back home and kita-kita tayo sa Lunes. Yan.
Any other questions in Filipino? Yes.
She called Miami the spark that lit the fire. But notice, she didn't stop there. She said, quote, "There are so many things that have happened between then and now." That one sentence tells you everything. Most young players peak early and spend the rest of their career chasing that one magical run. Alex Eala is doing the opposite. She's using Miami as a floor, not a ceiling. And now, for the first time in her career, she's in the 4th round at Indian Wells, about to face Linda Noskova, a player who, despite being younger than Alex, has already played on the biggest stages in the world. Alex didn't flinch. She said, "I'm excited. I'm going in with preparation and motivation." That's not a press conference answer. That's a player who has genuinely stopped fearing the moment and started owning it. The question is, can she go further? And what would it actually take to stop her? If you made it this far, you already see what most tennis fans are completely missing about Alex Eala. She's not just another young talent. She's a new kind of player, one who thinks differently, competes differently, and is quietly reshaping an entire sport. If you want to stay ahead of this story, hit subscribe right now, because the content we have coming up on Alex's next match, her trajectory through the draw, and the deeper breakdown of her tactical game, you do not want to miss it. Drop a comment below. Do you think Alex Eala can win Indian Wells? Let's see who believed before it happened. And if you enjoyed this video, there's one more right here that goes even deeper into what makes elite women's tennis players think differently under pressure. See you in there.